I'm getting ready to charge my system, and I actually have a couple 5-ounce cans of refrigerant. I got 3 cans I'm going to put in here. I'm going to be charging through my high side. And now you guys are probably thinking, oh man, what do you mean you're going to charge through your high side? Aren't you supposed to charge through your low side? Well, yes and no. The only time you can charge through your high side is when your system's evacuated and your compressor is off. You never charge on your high side if your compressor is running, because your compressor will build pressure, and this is just a pressure game pretty much. Right now this is under vacuum, and your system will charge based on pressures. If this one's high and this one's low, it'll pump into this. If this is high and this is low, it'll pump into this until pressures equalize. Okay, hope that makes sense. It's all about a pressures game. So that's why you never charge into your high side while your compressor is running. My system is evacuated. I'm going to charge into my high side, which is your liquid line. I'm going to hold my can upside down because I want it to suck liquid in. When you're charging on your low side with your compressor running, you want to hold the can straight up so that you suck in vapor. You want to try to suck as little liquid into your low side while your compressor is running so you don't slug your compressor. But the way you charge with a charging system, like what you use at automobile shops and whatnot, where they have those recycle, recover, recharge systems. They have those kind of systems. They actually have a heating element that wraps around the can, and you turn it on and it heats up the refrigerant, and it creates more pressure in the can, which allows it to charge. I think it's a good way to charge. But anyway, enough of me rambling. I'm going to be charging in my high side, and I'm going to actually watch the sight glass as the liquid goes in. I'm hoping I can charge my first 2 cans that way, and probably my last can I'll probably charge the low side because the pressures will equalize or whatnot. Hope that makes sense. Anyway, I'm going to step back so you guys can see what I'm doing, hopefully. Okay. When you mess with refrigerant, you really ought to wear gloves and some glasses, which I will be wearing. I'll show you guys. Hopefully, I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but mine's a 2003 model, and it doesn't have rear air conditioning, so it says 34 ounces, charging to 34 ounces. Well, 3 cans of refrigerant, 12, 24, 36, that's 36 ounces. So I'm going to try to be filling it to around 3 cans. Now, on the car down there, on the front, there's a sticker that tells you like 1.94 pounds or something like that, just shy of 2 pounds. I don't know. This says 34. That says right at 1.94 pounds, I think, which is this actually says a little bit more, so I'm not going to trust this book. So I'm going to go to try to get in about 32 ounces, 1.94 pounds, whatever that is. I haven't converted it yet, but that's about the area you're looking for. Of course, when your book says 34 and this says 1.94, well, go with what the car says, you know. So anyway, I hope that makes sense. Remember, I told you guys it's a pressure game. High pressure will pump until the pressures equalize, and then you can't pump in anymore. So if you want to charge it without having to turn on your compressor, one thing you can do is kind of use like a heat gun or a hair dryer. It actually says in the charging procedure, if you have one of those machines, to heat it up to 125 degrees so that it can increase pressure and pump itself in. Bought this can of, I got 4 cans of this. I only need 3, but never know. This R134A, I bought this at Big Lots. It was super cheap. It was like $6 or $7, way cheaper than anywhere else I could find it. So anyway, let me go grab a tap valve. I got a can tap, and when you first put this on, you want to make sure this is a sticky thing, that there's a thing that comes down and punctures this seal. When you tighten this thing down, it punctures the seal. So you want to make sure you're up right now, and just screw this on. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to screw my valve into this. Okay, so right now I'm going to check my vacuum one more time. It's still holding at 30. I have both of these valves closed. I have this valve closed. Now I'm going to puncture the can, so I got to screw this in. Like I said, always wear gloves and wear safety glasses. Most importantly, you don't want to freeze your eyes. Okay, so that should have tapped the can. Now I'm going to open this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to crack this line to kind of purge just this little bit right here. Just a little bit. Just a little bit, just to purge, just to pressurize that stuff. Try to get as much. This is still under vacuum. And like I said, I'm going to open this valve. Now I'm going to open my high side line. And you'll see, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but you'll see this sight glass start to fill up. And you can see it actually sucking it in. You can hear it. The pressure is increasing. It's sucking it right in. Sucking it in. I'm watching it bubble. The sight glass is bubbling. It's going right in. Let me get a close-up of this bubbling so you can see it. You can tell, hopefully you can see how that's sucking it right in the liquid line. It's bubbling, sucking it right in. You can actually watch it go in. That's what you're looking for, to suck it right in. And if you don't see it sucking in, well, you can start heating this can up with the heat gun to increase pressure, and it'll force it in. But it's empty right now, so it's sucking it right in. This can actually feels like it's empty now. So let me put this back here. All right. So the first can, there's no bubbles anymore, so I'm going to shut this line off. Close off my high side. Now I'm going to close off this valve here, like that. I'm going to shut this valve. And I'm going to change cans. There may be a tiny bit, stuck in there. Okay, there was a little bit loss, but that's what happens when you switch cans. You try to minimize that. All right. Now this valve is shut. I'm going to open this one again. This valve is shut. Open this one so I can change cans. I'm going to puncture this can. Okay, this can's punctured. I'm going to open this side and I'm going to purge it again. Let me open this back up. That'll be good. Let me close that. I'm going to open this. Okay, now I'm going to open this valve, and it's sucking it back in again. It's sucking it, taking it all. Just going to watch it. It's sucking it right in. You can watch on the liquid line, watching it suck in. And like I said, if you want to, you can use a heat gun just a little bit to increase the pressure in this can to force it in more. Just kind of heat it up. Don't do it in one place. Just all you're doing is you're heating this up so you can increase pressure. It's taking it right in. They actually make a can heater. You see it, it's sucking right in, just like you want. I think this can's just about empty too. It's bubbling. And there's no more in the liquid line. You don't see any more, so I'm going to shut this off. It's not bubbling anymore. So I'm going to close this. Okay, now I'm going to shut this valve, change out my cans again, try to get one more in. I may have to, the pressures might be equalizing soon, so I may have to turn on the system and suck it in. If I do that, I'll start up the compressor, then I'll go through the low side and I'll hold the can this way so that vapor goes in. Right now, holding it like that, liquid's going in. Hope that makes sense. Going to change out my can. Last can here. I'm still going to try to charge it into the high side again. I'm going to screw this in. Puncture this. Open the purge. Open the can tap. Now, the compressors is just about equalized, so I may not be able to get this in here. We'll see. Let me open this. I'm going to try to go on the high side some more. Okay, let's sweat my eyes. Alright, I'm going to open this line. And it's bubbling. It's liquid going in. Put it upside down. You can see it charging it. And this pressure is coming up. Pretty soon these will equalize. Just try to get as much as you can. I'm actually going to heat this up again. That's just the way I like to do it. This increases the pressure in the can, forces it to flow. This is how a machine works. They have a little heating element that heats the can. It's sucking it in. Well, my pressures have just about equalized, so this can's pretty warm now. Pumping that right in. There's no more, you don't see any more liquid in the sight glass. The can's pretty warm, so I'm going to close this off. Okay. I'll hold this upside this way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let this sit for about an hour or so. I'm going to let my pressures settle out. Then I'm going to come start my AC. Start the car. I'll check to see how cold it is. If it's nice and good, I'll leave it alone. If it's not nice and good, I'll start my compressor. I'll crack the low line. I'll suck it in. But right now I'm just going to let it sit for about an hour, just to let the pressures equalize and everything. It'd be just like when you first hook up gauges. It's called a static pressure. Your pressures will equalize, and that's what I'm going to let it do. Just equalize, turn static, and leave it alone. And I'll look at my pressures, and they're already pretty close to equalizing, but I'm just going to let it sit for a little bit.